Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Kris.
And today we'll be talking about the Kardashians Season 4, Episode 6.
Hey, listen, before we get into that, I want y'all to subscribe, like, comment, share the content. Share. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We almost there. Kind of.
Maybe a quarter of the way?
Kind of. Okay? I have some questions before we get into the review, Blair. Can I ask those questions?
Yes.
Can I ask the questions I say?
Go ahead.
Okay. Do we believe that the Kourtney and Kim beef is settled? Okay. By Kim's definition, is she a good mom? Is Khloe an overbearing mom? And the fourth one, is there an underlying issue between Khloe and Kris? If so, what is it? You got it?
Got it.
Walk us through it.
The family is in Palm Springs for Easter weekend.
Yeah.
And Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, and Kris are all together. And Kylie, she ends up walking in as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Kim and Court say that they're good and they just moved on, just swept everything under the rug, and they are good. They got through the edit of the previous episodes, so they can finally squash the beef.
Do we believe the beef is settled? Now, you watch this series, The Kardashians. You watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This is not this is something new to me. You are true to this.
Yeah, the beef is never settled.
Wow.
And that's because they're sisters. And Kim is always going to be how she is. Kourtney is always going to be how she is. They're different. They value different things. Kim doesn't necessarily see where Kourtney's. I think Kim sees where Kourtney's coming from, but she thinks it's unrealistic of Kourtney to ask her to not work.
Wow.
You know, so. To me, there's always going to be situations like that are going to rise up because, like Kourtney said, it's been like this our whole life.
Really?
Certain things that you do that encroach on me or, whatever the case may be. So, no, their sisters, stuff is going to happen again and rehash all these feelings. What about you?
I don't see how things just moved on without addressing it. Like, so I'm thinking like, hey, I seen clips of y'all fighting throughout all the seasons of y'all family being on TV. And I'm like, if this is how y'all get over it, no wonder why all the other times in the past y'all just keep fighting.
Yeah, nothing is resolved.
Like nothing's resolved. So it just only evidence I have is what y'all been doing. You get what I'm saying? Y'all haven't done anything different. No apologies was given to each other. You get what I'm saying? Like things were said that I feel like even if you felt like you was right, I just felt like it crossed the line of being siblings. You get what I'm saying? And then we just wake up one day and y'all sit next to each other and y'all give this little fake hug to each other and things like that, knowing that like, yo, the next couple episodes or not, y'all go say something that go get on each other's nerves anyway. Yeah. You know? Walk us through it, Blair. Continue.
Well, Kris, she invites Penelope to a farm. She wants to spend more time with her grandkids.
Okay.
Khloe says that Kris has never had all the grandkids without help, but she raised all of us, so she could possibly do it.
Maybe. Maybe.
And apparently Tristan and Khloe have 2 lots together in Palm Springs that they bought. And Tristan is seeming like he's not going to give up his end. Khloe, she either wants to sell hers or have him let her buy his half. She doesn't want them to end up like, because they were going to build a house on the lot, like one big house for their family to spend time in for vacations, but she's like, I don't want to build one big house. I don't even want to have 2 little houses on the same lot. Like somebody gotta go.
So like they own this lot and they own this land that they were supposed to build their dream house or whatever it is. I guess this decision was made while things was well with them too. Tristan don't want to sell it. You know, Khloe is very like, hey, I would think that, hey, you would sell me your part, especially since Tristan just got a new house. You get what I'm saying? I would think that would happen. Or Khloe is like, listen, at the end of the day, I may just sell it just to get out of it. What do you think is happening right here? To me, I think it's classic manipulation. That's me.
Yeah, on Tristan's end,
yes,
definitely.
100%.
He's like, I'm gonna find any and every which way to keep you locked in. Like, we got our kids together, we got this land together. Anything to keep us in communication, I'm keeping it going.
Hey, Khloe, absolutely. If you're serious, sell it. Yeah, sell it to the first bidder. It don't even have to be. you can lose a profit if you're really serious about it. Sell it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Kim shares she's going to do American Horror Story. And so apparently what happened is that Kris was having a dinner with Ryan Murphy at her house. She invites Kim to come over and join for the dinner. And Ryan is saying, like, I've wanted Kim in my stuff. And he ends up writing a part for Kim.
Now stop there. I know this is not church, but I need you to repeat that line again, because I'm going to say that exact line at the end of this episode. Can you say it for me one more time?
Kim shares she's going to do American Horror Story. Ryan wrote a part for Kim.
Because of who?
Because of Kris.
Okay, continue.
Yes. Kim is taking classes and preparing for the bar as well, the real bar.
Okay.
Kim says she can't slow down because it's just a huge production, and she's referring to American Horror Story. Kim goes to Courtney for mom advice. Courtney says that they also talk about parenting stuff because they both have older kids.
Yeah.
Kim talks about driving the kids to school, how North would talk to Kim because she was upset with Kim because she didn't get on a alone trip the same way that Saint did. And Courtney said, just try doing little things with her. Like maybe y'all can have like dinner or like a one-on-one time. Courtney has a more gentle approach with her kids. Kim feels that way as well, but with a little bit of tough love, a little bit of stern voice, and a little bit of hollering. North likes the apartment that Kanye lives in, and he has no staff. They make their own food. The kids like when Courtney makes pancakes, and she was explaining how they rotate choosing breakfast, because Kim was like, okay, if I make pancakes and somebody's going to want smoothies and somebody else is going to want French toast. Kim's like, Courtney's like, just let them rotate and let them have turns as far as who gets the choice of breakfast. Kim says that she's more like Kris as far as her parenting style. Yeah. And Courtney says that she was like Kris until she did the work to not be.
Wow. That is interesting. Listen here. Not only do North is at that age to where, not only North, all of her kids are spoiled. And Kanye is in a position, and North is in that position as well, since she's older, to view her father as the cool dad. Yeah. Now she's like, why don't we have an apartment, as Blair stated? Basically, he's the fun dad. And I guess some people may feel like, he's not the primary caregiver, or he's not the primary caretaker of the children, so it's always a vacation with daddy. But I would ask the question, by Kim's definition, based on what she has stated in the previous episodes about how she's trying to create moments. She's trying to basically not take for granted of how fast her kids is growing up. Even as something as little as the kids don't want to show affection in front of other kids towards their mom, because, they get into that age where they're getting older, where they're embarrassed. That's embarrassing. Yeah. Exactly. Is she a good mom by her own definition?
I would say yes.
I would say no.
And the reason I say that is because Kim is not giving herself enough credit. There's been plenty of scenes and episodes to where she spent one-on-one time just doing random stuff with her kids. Yeah. So she has, like, when North, like, she let North do her makeup and let her be like the fake nanny to like scare like the other kids. And I mean, and the fact that she's taking Saint and doing quality time that way, she's doing all the things she's saying. I just think she wants to do it more. So I think she is a good mom by her standards, but she's not giving herself enough credit.
I'm gonna say no only by this. I think Kim is good at doing grand gestures and things like that. Going to Paris to see a soccer game, you know what I mean? Things like that. That's why I think with Courtney say, hey, just do the simple things. Do like the things that...
But I've seen her do it.
I understand that. Yeah. But I understand right now, going off of what Kim said. This is not my opinion. Kim says she wants to invest more into their lives.
Yeah, I just think that she's being hard on herself.
Maybe. Yeah. But I'm like, hey, look, if you want to do that, and if you really believe you want to do that, scale back and invest in the smaller things. That's why I really don't understand this conversation with Courtney, because you're not going to do what Courtney did. This parenting advice of what advice you get from Courtney on how to parent, you're not going to basically your foundation is not going to be built around what Kourtney's foundation is.
And they really don't respect how Kourtney parents her kids anyway. Because they think her kids is just off the wall and have no respect for people.
So that's why it goes back to my first thing of, is the beef settled? No, I think it's just like that awkward thing. Like, so how was your day? Mm-hmm. You know how y'all haven't talked in a while and y'all like in the room together. So, hey, I'm having a little trouble with parenting, you know, like, do you have any advice, you know, just trying to be a little icebreaker. Where you basically just said it to where they don't respect Kourtney, period. You get what I'm saying? Her parenting style and things of that nature. So I believe, let me be real, I believe by Kim's definition on what she expressed in the previous episodes that she can give a little more. Mm-hmm. And maybe by Kourtney's advice, maybe more little gestures. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because the kids can miss the big gestures and they start saying, how come we don't have an apartment? Why do you want a smaller house? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because they're so used to the big things that the simple things that daddy don't have a nanny. Daddy don't have this. Daddy have an apartment, as if her father was just walking the streets with his shoes off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like naked almost. You get what I'm saying? With a bulletproof vest or something like that. Like her father, Kanye's not that sane. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? But because it's not so grand gesture with them, I think also, you know, part-time parents always get the most respect. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm sure, because Kanye don't always have them, I'm sure his full attention is on them.
Yeah, when he does.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Because it's not for long periods of time. Compared to where Kim, she's like, I always have them. I'm always moving. If I am going to a work event or if I am going overseas, I do bring them with me. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe she do need to give herself more credit. Mm-hmm. But I feel like based on her definition, based on what she described that she want to achieve with her kids, I feel like she can give just a little bit more and maybe a little bit more detail, as Kourtney was saying. Okay. Continue.
Yeah. Khloe was in a golf cart with Tristan with all the kids, and she wanted to pick up Penelope so they could all hang out. Yeah. So she gives Kourtney a call and lets them know that her and Tristan and some of the other kids were going to come by to pick up Penelope. Kourtney first asked Penelope, like, you know, she's with Tristan. Is that okay? And she says, yeah, like, that's fine. Yeah. Kourtney says that there's times where Penelope and even herself can't be around Tristan just because of what's going on between him and Khloe. But when she's ready for it, at times she's ready to let it go just for the family's sake to keep the harmony.
Listen here, I 100% agree with Kourtney because just seeing them two, and let's say you haven't been around and like you just basically seeing the normality of it, you're like, what's going on here? Yeah. This ain't no, like, you know, you just coming to pick up the kids and leave, or you just coming to drop some off and leaving. It's like, what's going on here? They talking about the lots and they doing all these other things, having all these other side conversations that really doesn't push their relationship forward. Watch out for people like Tristan, Khloe, because he's not even giving you a direct answer. He like, maybe we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll see. And I really don't understand the I guess loyalty is a strong word, but the loyalty to Tristan. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe, like, you did explain it to me a couple episodes ago about how, it's family, to keep the harmony of the family together. They even view, people like Scott and things like that as extended of their family. I don't see how Tristan gets that pass. I really don't. Continue.
Yeah, well, Khloe doesn't expect her family to be where she's at with Tristan. If Penelope feels away, that's good, because you should. She's saying you shouldn't feel good about someone mistreating your family member, and that Penelope's got the right idea.
Yeah.
Khloe says that Tristan is convinced that they're going to build a house on the lot.
Stop right there. Convinced? Why you keep saying convinced? It's almost like, I hate when somebody do the wrong and they just like wish upon a star that things are back to normal. What are you doing, Tristan, to basically get that trust back? Besides moving in and taking up her space, you get what I'm saying? Like what?
Just being around.
What are you doing? Like that's basically what he's doing. He's like, if I stay around enough, and if you get lonely enough, that you just basically go come back to me, and I don't really have to do anything to redeem myself.
Yeah, like I'm just going to be a great dad.
Exactly.
That's fine, but can you be a great partner?
you know what I'm gonna do, Blair? I'm gonna get a house right around the corner from you. It's like, yo,
it's like you just got to see me every day. I'm gonna wear you down, pretty much.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what he's doing. Continue.
Yeah. So Kim takes Kourtney's advice and spends time with North cooking. It's kind of cute. They're frying chicken, and then they're also doing sushi.
Yeah.
Well, Kourtney says that North is Kim's lesson. She says that North teaches her patience. And production asked North what does she think about what her mom does. At first, she says, "Oh, what does she do?"
That's a great question. Listen here.
And that clip has been circling around every side. It's funny. It is funny.
From the mouth of children will always come the truth.
What does she do?
Will always come truth. Because Kim, that's all Kim had been doing so far in these past episodes. Was trying to emphasize that I do a lot. I'm busy. She's telling us like things like, yeah, I'm just happy to get out of Calabasas so I can film this American Horror Story. I'm just busy. I'm always putting things on my plate. I'm busy. And North is like, what did she do? If you're so busy, I would think that your kids would know that you're busy.
Yeah, but at the same time, when kids are young, that at that age, they don't necessarily know what their parents do. They just know they're going to work. They don't really care too much.
Maybe I
think it's the age.
Maybe the details. Yes, maybe you're right. But I'm like, North, I was just like you, and I'm like, if you don't know, I definitely don't know. Continue.
And then production says the prison stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's like, oh, yeah, that's good. She's doing a good job with that.
Remember your lines, North. Okay? Remember your lines.
That was really funny.
Continue.
Yeah. So Kris has True and Stormy, and she is taking them to the ranch. It's funny because I think they meet up at the, at Kylie's building, because Kris has an office in there.
Okay.
So I think that's where the kids meet up with her at.
Okay.
And then they're getting into the garage and about to walk into the car, and True recognizes her mom's car. And I'm like, I'm terrible at recognizing cars, so that's amazing the child can do that.
Okay.
And so they run over and see Khloé, and then they literally latch onto her. And then Kris is like, okay, we got popsicles in the car, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So she corrals the girls into the car, and Khloé says that she's there to follow them secretly and just keep a watchful eye just to make sure things are okay.
I'm gonna secretly follow you in this Rolls Royce. It just the car following you. Go ahead, continue.
Right. Well, on the ride to the ranch, Kris says that she invited 12 of her grandchildren and she only got 2.
Okay.
I'm like, dang, she invited Penelope and Penelope ain't even go.
Nope.
But probably, Kourtney has stuff with her, maybe.
It's life.
Know. Yeah. Well, she has the girls there. They're first a little bit scared to feed the horses.
Yeah.
Khloé's saying that she really wants to come because she knows her mom is easily distracted. Okay. And she doesn't know how quick to react she might be in any dangerous situations with these animals.
She's thinking of all the negative stuff. She may fall off the horse may hit her, the horse may kill her. She's just thinking all the negative stuff. So, go ahead.
But to Khloé's point or detriment, she says that when she took True to school for the first time, she didn't leave her. She just stood and just she stayed there. Yep. Yeah. She was like, I took her to school and I stayed the whole day. So I don't necessarily know if it's a Kris thing other than Khloé just kind of having that control thing going on.
Maybe.
Well, Khloé pulls up. And they cling to Khloé, and Khloé's hilarious, making jokes like, what did you do to them? And the kids are like, she made us touch animals. So they end up going up to the horse stables, and Khloé carries True and Stormy, which was pretty boss. And Khloé ends up getting a chance to ride the horses, and it's so cute because True was like, make it run, and then she ends up making the horse run. And Khloé, she's just really good with kids. She really is.
How did you feel about that scene?
I mean, I thought it was cute. I like the scene overall. I know Kris was annoyed because she just wanted to get some time to spend with her grandkids. I thought it was just an overall cute scene, and I liked that Khloé showed up. It was fun seeing her with the kids and riding the horses, so I just thought it was cute. Should Khloé have been there? I'm like, give your mom some time with her grandkids, but overall, I think it turned out good. What about you?
Is Khloé an overbearing mom?
I would say yeah. She probably is, yeah.
So my thing is, if you gave me the example of Kim and Khloé and them used to make fun of Kourtney of how involved she was with her kids and things of that nature, how come Khloe's not getting that same flack right now?
Well, it's because Kourtney would miss work obligations or not prioritize.
It would cost the family money.
Yeah, she wouldn't prioritize work obligations because of her kids, like kind of using it as an excuse
to not work,
or to not film or things like that. Where Khloe, she's bearing a lot of her life and her business. So that's the main difference to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I thought that scene was cute. Actually, I don't think that scene was cute. I thought that scene showed it showed an undertone of what everybody was talking about, of how, previous episodes, it was like, Khloe, you need to get out there and date. You need to go out there and basically get back into the normality of things. I think because things has failed around her, especially her relationships, she holds on tight to her kids, basically.
True.
And when you hold on tight to something, you can potentially suffocate it. You can potentially hurt it. I don't know. I don't know if it's so much that, to your point of Kris being inept to watch the kids, more than like I just want to be there, as she stayed in. Well, I'm probably be that same parent too. That like the first time I send my kid off to school, I'll probably be in the parking lot knocking on the window, but like sit down, you know what I mean? But my whole point is, I do think there is a need to get back to your everyday normality of life.
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean, I'm not talking about Khloe have to go out and date and things like that, but I do think, like, her letting her kids be kids, letting them be with their grandmom and things like that, letting them, like, basically taking the reins off and trusting your village to take care of the family.
That's true.
I do think that helps, or else it could become, it could be to your detriment, because you be like, I've done everything for my kids, I'm only going to do this for my kids. And next thing you know, you, as young as you are, you making your whole life about your kids, to where when they get older, because they're not at their age now, when they actually get older and they actually want to do things on their own, you now be like, hey, come be around me. I basically sacrifice this. You should be with me. And I'm like, I think you should practice right now while they're young, loosening the reins. So when they're older and they choose not to be around you, and then they want to date and they want to marry and they want to get out the house, that you're not left by yourself. And when I say left by yourself, I'm not necessarily talking about a relationship. Dude, you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I also think that they've kind of positioned it as well, as far as Kris goes, like when it came to Kylie and Kendall growing up, that Khloe pretty much parented them, and that Kris wasn't necessarily as involved with raising the last two kids, because she was a socialite out doing her thing, and Khloe did have a lot of the responsibility of caring for her younger siblings.
So there is a part to
there's
where
a part of Kris,
like Kris is not trustworthy in that department, or she haven't shown herself.
For Khloe, yeah. For Khloe to fully trust, like, are you really going to be paying attention to our kids? Because I seen how you were with my sisters when they were little, type thing.
Well, that's crazy. Maybe Kris is at that age and at that point of her life to where she's trying to redo some mistakes with her grandchildren.
Possibly.
You get what I'm saying? If since you put it that way, she's like, you know what? I cheated on Rob multiple times. I kind of messed up our family. I kind of wasn't there for my kids as much as I could have been, because I kept putting work above everything else. And now I'm at the point to where things are kind of on autopilot, and I'm like, you know what? Let me be there. Because trust me, Kris probably rather be in the office.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Rather doing something.
But she's making an effort.
But she's making an effort of trying to basically correct the wrongs that she might have done with her sisters. Khloe,
her daughters,
Khloe, Kylie, and who? Kendall. By basically saying, you know what, I'm gonna be a great grandmom because I was an okay mom. You get what I'm saying? Continue.
Yeah. Well, Malika and Kim land in Crescent City, California. Kim invited Malika to this thing to where they're going to be meeting up with, it's called like the anti-recidivism group that helps people who've gotten out of prison, and they're going to talk to the guys who work in that program who were in prison for long periods of time, who were supposed to serve life sentences that got their time commuted.
Okay.
So Malika says she's nervous, and Kim explains that it's pretty safe and people are really just happy to get time to talk to someone.
Facts.
And the guy who owns the group is Scott, or the founder. And he was telling them before they, go to the prison and meet people that it's normal to feel nervous, and not necessarily not to be worried, but, we've got you. It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't get to go into the prison with them, but we get to see their conversation when they leave and when they're driving away. And the thing that really stood out to them is that they saw people in actual cages.
Yeah, like jail.
Yeah. But I don't think they meant prison cells. I think cages.
I think they meant prison.
You think cells?
Yes. They don't have people in cages.
Okay.
Like people in a dog cage. No, they have like a jail, a prison is a cage.
That's true.
And it does something to the mental mind. And like Kim said, she said, listen here, I know all this reform thing I'm doing and I'm the face of it right now, but let me be clear. If you did a crime, you gonna pay the time.
Yeah.
Don't call me. Don't call my office if you guilty of doing a crime and you just want to get out and you want me to basically give your name and I can. No. That's not what I do. Continue.
Yeah. No, she said that she's there for people who deserve second chances.
Yeah.
And like you said, for people who were wrongly convicted. Yeah. Well, they have lunch with the guys who are participating in this ARC group, and the guys go around sharing what their sentences were and how much time they actually served.
Yeah.
They agree that they need to stop the flow of people going into prison, and it has to start with healthier families and communities. And Kim, she brought up a good question, because she was saying, we want to do all this work on the back end, but how can we go about just preventing these issues? But it's systematic. It goes deep. So I thought that was interesting. What do you think of that scene?
I mean, this is just normal things I already know about the prison system.
Yeah.
And things like that. That Kim and especially Malika she seemed very new to. This is not her life. This is not her normality. This is not her normal routine. So I can understand why she's nervous and things like that. But we understand why people end up in prison. We understand. It doesn't start with the crime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It starts before that.
Yeah.
It starts maybe even before you're born. You get what I'm saying? Continue.
Yeah. Well, Khloé and Kris meet up.
Yeah.
Kris thinks Khloé should have a podcast.
Okay.
And Khloé says that she's weighing the risk versus the reward.
Okay. Something
very little that she says can cause her to be annihilated if she says the wrong thing. Khloé says Kris says that it's fear that Khloé is dealing with, and she should have the confidence to share her gifts.
Okay.
And Khloé, her point is, look, I don't have enough support for this.
Okay.
She'll be too overwhelmed with the amount of work.
Okay.
Khloé says that she needs to fix things that have been messed up before. As a manager, Kris doesn't have follow through. With multiple clients, she doesn't give equal time and effort to everyone she's managing. And Khloé's point of issue as well is look, I don't have a team. All of this is going to be on me, and I can't take this on. Kris says we can have a team built with the production company that we're going to get you involved in. Khloé says that she's never had a team built around her before, and she just doesn't trust that it's gonna happen, really, that it's gonna get done at all.
Facts.
Kris says, we just are looking at this differently. Khloé feels that it's all BS and she's not being heard. Kris says Khloé can't hear what Kris is saying. She's somewhere else. She's spiraling. She's not here with Kris having this conversation as she should be.
Continue.
Yeah. Khloé says that she doesn't really have any expectations as far as her life or things that she wants to do. She said she's had expectations in the past and things just fell flat. And she's at the point where she's just grateful for whatever she gets or whatever happens in her life.
Continue.
Kris wants her to do what's in her heart, and Khloé says that there's not much in her heart these days.
Is there an underlying issue between Khloé and Kris? What do you think? Yes or no?
Yeah, definitely.
If so, what is it?
I think it's a few things. I think, definitely issues with how they were raised, how Kris kind of broke up the family. Then going into the managerial space, back in Keeping Up the Kardashian, they had issues where they felt like Kris spent so much time with Kim and focusing on Kim's career that they didn't get the same type of effort from Kris.
And you say this is going back to Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm learning.
Where Kris, I think she actually missed a photo shoot for, I think it was Khloe or Kourtney or both of them. And she wasn't there, and they wanted her there to have their support. But she couldn't. Like she said, even in this episode, I can't be in two places at one time. But at the same time, it kind of feels like, but you're kind of picking and choosing where you want to be. And I think that's the major issue. And as well as not having a team. I think it is huge to not have a team. Like Khloe said, and even in Good American, she doesn't have people to vouch for her when she's not there. Like, she has to be the one to speak up for herself, and if there are any questions, she has to go to Kris, and if Kris is not available, she has to wait for an assistant to get back to her when they talk to Kris. So she's like, it's just I'm not able to move the way that I want to with the way this is set up, and I don't blame her for it.
Now just to make it clear, Khloe said, I'm not talking to my mom right now, I'm talking to my manager.
Yeah.
Right? If you have all these problems, why don't you get new management? Your mom will forever be your mom. I
think that might damage the relationship.
I think everything Khloe said is an excuse. I don't think it's as... I think that's why I say it's their underlying issue. I think you hit the nail on the head a little bit. You kind of sideswiped it. I think even though Khloe said that I'm not talking to you as my mom, I'm talking to you as my manager, something's bleeding through.
Yeah.
Mother Kris is bleeding into manager Kris, and it has something, and I think it has something to do with, let's look on the surface first, because I think if we look too deep, we may miss it. Early in the episode, I had you repeat something, that Kris got Kim a role on American Horror Story,
written for her,
to the point where written specific for her. That means she don't have to audition for it. It's hers, right? A couple episodes ago, Kris got Tristan a job on ESPN. Tristan is, and I think that's the one. I think that's really
what's rubbing her wrong.
Yes. I don't have a team, but you can make a phone call and get Tristan, the one who did me wrong, a job on ESPN. Tristan's supposed to be like these other guys that's retired from basketball, like basically away from the limelight. Like Tristan wasn't, just to give you some backstory on Tristan wasn't a big personality in the NBA for him to have a job on ESPN. Like he's not Charles Barkley. He's not Shaquille O'Neal. He's not like he's basically a role player that played with LeBron James. So his claim to fame, to why everybody know him, is because of Khloe. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like to see everybody, watch how deep I'm about to go. Everybody who is latched on to Khloe benefits. You get what I'm saying? Except Khloe.
Even Lamar.
Come on now. So like everybody is getting the benefits, but yet I get the crumbs.
Yeah.
And yet you're bringing another project to me. Like, I think you should start a podcast. Now, granted, everybody has a podcast. I don't think it's that hard for you to run a team, to have a team to do the podcast. I have a podcast. But like I said, I'm not Khloe Kardashian. I'm not doing. I'm doing everything. That's a whole nother level of having a team that literally do everything.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But I do think it's something to Kris coming through for people that is attached to Khloe, but not Khloe. And Khloe have too much evidence that she has that has to do with the manager Kris, and that's the mother Kris, as Kris the person doesn't come through for me as she does, as you gave me a history lesson for Kim back with Keeping Up with the Kardashians and things like that. So that's why I'm like, there's an underlying issue that I think that Khloe have a problem with the person Kris, not just the manager Kris. She may love her mother and things like that, but I think all of it, she has a problem with each part of Kris. The mom Kris, the manager Kris, which makes the person Kris.
Yeah.
If you can go out here and get Kim all these opportunities, who doesn't need any more opportunities? Facts. Or put like this, Kim could get her own opportunities. You get what I'm saying? Courtney, I would defend you more, but I just learned today that you be missing photo shoots. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you're better now. But Khloe, I don't see how you can get Tristan a job. I'm not saying I'm not saying blacklist him, but to basically set him up. But
that benefits the family.
But in order to benefit the family, you got to benefit the family first. Benefit the family directly first.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like Khloe is Khloe. You get what I'm saying? So,
and to me, she's trying, but Khloe don't want it. She's not feeling it right now.
I understand it. And guess what? The more you say that, and if I'm your manager, I don't have to ask how you doing. I hear how you talk all the time as your mother, and that's why I'm like, maybe you may need another manager team or something like that, because if I'm hearing what you saying as your mother, how can I not take that into account as your manager? Yeah. I heard you say, like, I'm just focused on my kids. I'm just focused on my kids. Now, I'm not saying that Kris is over there saying, well, I had this opportunity for Khloe, but she focused on the kids. I'm not saying she's doing that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't think Kris is so proactive with Khloe, because right now, in the current moment, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim is still carrying the name so far. Yeah. Courtney had her thing with her getting married to Travis and things like that, but that kind of died down. That's kind of forgotten.
Yeah, it's Kim and Kylie.
Yeah. So it's like, it just is what it is. Anything else on this episode that you want to teach me on, that you want to share, or your thoughts on the episode?
No, nothing at all.
Nothing at all? Make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, all the above. Thank you.
Bye.